Good day to you all. In this lecture series, we are going to see the experiments of Embedded Systems Lab 18EC L66. This lab contains two parts. The part A consists of the simulation software, for which we are going to use Keil software for simulating some of the experiments. You can get an idea about writing an assembly level language program and how to compile that program or how to assemble that program that can be converted into a low level language, and how to execute and see the simulation results of that particular program. And in the part B of the program, we will be dealing with the interfacing our ARM Cortex M3, which is actually our intended processor, with the different peripherals and how these functions are working. We will first get an introduction about the Keil software. So the intention of this part A first experiment is to study about the Keil software. To start with, we will first see the version details. According to the syllabus prescribed, we can go for a Microvision 4.74 version of Keil software. This is actually an evaluation version or version with some constraints, but this software is quite enough for executing our programs. Now, how to use this Keil software, that we will see that now. First, we have to create a Microvision project, right? I think on the right hand side you can see there is a project, and when you click that, you will be having a new Microvision project option will be coming there, and you can click it to create a new project. And you have to suitably name the project, and the name can be related to what the program is intended for. Say for example, if it is going to be a multiplication program, you can give a suitable name, something like multiply, something like that, so that we can easily understand what's the project is intended to. And in the next part, we are going to select the device. So there are plenty of devices available. In our lab, we are having LPC1765 device, so we need to select it. And when selecting that particular device, there will be a pop-up. A window will be there, which will ask whether we have to copy the startup files for that particular device. Now, the startup files are actually required when you are going to interface your device to some other peripherals. If you want to do only simulation, then the startup files may not be needed. So in the part A, we are going to see only the simulation part. So for the first 4 experiments where we are not going to use any peripherals, without this startup file we can easily manage. So you can create, or you can just click no for that. But in the 5th experiment, the program is for writing a data into the RAM. So in that case, we need to use the startup file. So based on the program, either you can select yes or no for this pop-up window. Once this project is created and the device is selected, you can just click the file and new, so that you will be getting an editor where you can type your assembly level language program. And the assembly level language program, after typing, can be saved with an extension of either .s or .asm. And once the program is saved, I think all the things can be done in the same folder, so that you can combine the project into a group easily. And once this project is saved, we have to add the program to the source group. And these things will be available under the header file. Once the file is saved and it is added to the source group, now it's time for you to translate the project. And when you press the button translate, I think on the right hand side you can see the button for translation. So here actually what happens, the assembly level language program will be converted to suitable object code, right? So according to the device, there will be some sort of memory mapping will be available. So all these files need to be combined together in order to get the final hex file, which will be getting executed. And after the translation, if there are no errors, then you can go for clicking the build. So this build will combine all these files, like what is actually the object file that is created from the ASM file, and what is going to be the memory mapping, and all those things will be combined together, and the final hex version can be built. And once the file is built without any errors or warnings, right? I think warning can be excused, but however, you can avoid warnings too by proper debugging. And once it is done, we have to verify whether our program executes properly or not. So in that case, we can click the debug button, which is available again in the file menu, and it is useful for starting a debug session. And there will be a pop-up window saying whether you are ready to use the evaluation mode. Of course, for our lab experiments, the evaluation mode is quite okay, so we will just click OK to accept that prompt. The windows on the right hand side, there are 3 windows are available, where you can find all these buttons are also located here. And once this is done, the system will be entering into the debug mode. So there will be a step-by-step execution mode that is actually called as a step button, which will be equivalent to pressing the F11. On the right hand side, you can see the button that is available there, and you can press this button repeatedly. And this debugging window will be having a few sub windows. On the left hand side, you can see all the registers which are available in ARM Cortex M3 will be listed there. And whenever the program gets executed line by line, the changes in the registers will be automatically updated, so that we can easily trace out how the program is getting executed. On the right hand side, you can see the actual program is there, and there is also a disassembler where these library files or some inbuilt functions will be explained in detail, so that you can easily identify how the program gets executed. And once this is done, there is one more window, of course, that is there whenever you are going to use some memory related data. Then there will be a memory window is also available, which can be made into view by pressing this memory windows. Again, the diagram which is below to this statement number 12 shows where you can brought out this memory windows. And once this program gets executed, you can easily verify whether your intended program is working properly or not. Say for example, if you are going to write a program for multiplier, you can give some test inputs, say for example 5 and 2. And when 5 and 2 gets multiplied, my resultant should be A, which is actually the hexadecimal equivalent of number 10. So that you can find out whether your program is working properly or not. I think within writing by 1 or 2 programs, you can easily get accustomed to the Keil software.